Okay, welcome everyone to our meeting of August 13th. And so on that note, we will call our meeting to order and move with the adoption of the agenda.
I have a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Trahan and Councillor Kelly. That the draft agenda presented to council and dated the 13th day of August 2024 be adopted as prepared.
All in favor? It won't carry. Thank you so much. And are we accepting the minutes of the previous meetings?
And a seconder, please. Councillor Trahan and writers. That the minutes of the regular council meeting on 9th, 2024 be adopted as circulated.
Favor? No. Any business arising from the minutes? There being none. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest thereof. There being none. Announcements and updates from council members. There being none. I should mention that this month we will have the conference, the AMO conference, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and that council will be attending that meeting. Some of the members of council and municipality will be attending the meeting, and just to mention that as a result of that, there is not a second meeting in August because the staff and municipalities attending. It's a very important meeting. So just for information purposes, delegations to council, we have none this evening. Committee reports, no public works. Any comments, Deputy Mayor? No. Emergency Management or Fire and Emergency Services Committee, Councillor Trahan?
Thanks, Mayor. Won't be my last time saying it, but I'm trying to get it out there, safety date on September 28th. Corville parking lot, we're gonna have the open house and the recruitment drive. There's be lots of activities for the kids, as well as good information for mom and dads with regards to fire safety, and also most important is recruiting some new leaders. So
Yes.
yeah, dry hydrants. So we're going to, the first one's going to be put in at South Shore Boat Launch. So on the mercy of the works manager, I know they've been swamped, so we're trying to get at least to get one in. So the chief is pretty optimistic that he'll be able to work with the Mr. Boucher and be able to get at least one, if possible two, in by the end of this year. We're getting kind of close on timelines for fall and whatnot too, so it's another little push, but we'll see what happens. So that's a plan there. Also the renovation at the Asheville Fire Hall. It started, and the contractor, the chief indicated to me that the contractor is doing an extremely great job. So, which is good news. So they're doing that bathroom, and then they're doing the bunker room. So once everything's done, we'll definitely get an invite to the fire hall, and for the rest of the council to take a look and see what occurred at the Asheville Fire.
Halloween. So, you know, there's always that Catherine with the fire hall. The timing might just be perfect. Anyway, just to plug in there. C'est bon, well said. Any questions or? Well, excellent. Planning Advisory Committee, none for the session, no committee of adjustment. Recreation, Parks and Culture, there were minutes, and thank you very much for the person who put these together. They're very well done. So just a couple of things. We did discuss the bench. Madame Armitage came to the meeting following our last meeting, and so now it has been left with our Director of Community Services, who will be looking at different policies of different communities, and so that he'll be coming back to the committee and back to council. So that was all very good, and Madame Armitage is going to collaborate with us too as well. So that'll be, we're very happy with that.
Just a question there.
Yep.
Is there a company in mind, and you don't have to say the company, but is there a company in mind that where the benches are gonna be made, or is it how is that?
That was exactly the discussion because, you know, it's a matter of the foundation, the base, how expensive it will be. So the materials we use, and that was some of the discussion we had. We talked about the benches that are there now in Memorial Park. So we need to be careful that we don't price ourselves out of the market with benches that are maybe too expensive. And so that's exactly what if any of you have ideas, if you see products that you like we talked about the benches in the city of North Bay, so there were discussions like that. So if you're aware of benches that you've seen in other communities that you like, it would be great if you brought them forward as examples. There's lots of receptivity to that right now. Really?
I don't know about anyone else, but my wife and I walk regularly over in Callender
Yes.
on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
And the boardwalk's excellent, the benches are comfortable. And every now and then they have a swing, which is nice. So that's the same for the kids and
Yeah.
older people.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah, so it was mentioned.
It's well presented. It's well presented.
Reach out and see where they get their benches from.
Yeah, so that's on the list. That one was mentioned. They said they liked, someone said that too. They
And
liked
we have a
it.
nice plaque on the benches when they're donated by an individual or company, so.
So comfort was discussed, price was discussed. And so also benches that we ourselves, our municipality would be able to put up and install was another, so that we could keep costs down. So thank you for that. Sorry about that. And so, yes, as we mentioned, Canada Day next year, it will be a formal event. We've known that it was part of our strategic plan. In the past, we had included Canada Day, and basically this past year, we didn't realize that when we did our strategic plan, we forgot to include Canada Day as we had in the past. So now it will be a permanent structure in the strategic plan as well as the activity. So this is what the staff now will come back with an in-person type event, and they'll be coming back with recommendations to council on that. The one item here that will be coming to council as well is we know we have the Sports Hall of Fame program. And when we put that program together, we had two components. One was like an annual recognition, and the other one was like the lifetime sort of recognition for. But what has been happening is that through our volunteer recognition program, we've had there a few recommendations or nominations for people that have been involved in sports. And so basically the thought is maybe it fits better there, tied to our volunteer program somehow. And then we keep because it's confusing for people, it's been confusing to have the two components. So we want to streamline it and make it simple, more simple to understand that it's a lifetime or sort of Sports Hall of Fame recognition, not an annual recognition. So they're going to, the municipality is in the moment collecting ideas, and we'll be coming back to council with that. We talked a lot at our last meeting about, opportunities for more programming. There are different kinds of programming, different types of people, and especially when we look at the library, all the tools that they have. I've always been impressed with the library, the fact that they have pedometers, walking sticks, and they haven't been quantities too. They have they have vests for, if you walk, and they also have tennis rackets. We had bought those with the grant we had received for children, for men and women. We have balls. So there's a wide array of items there that we'd like to see put to use. Plus, we have now these facilities. We have pickleball facilities. We have tennis facilities. So now we need to develop more programming to use our facilities. We also have walking trails. The Wassy Center, we have 51 kilometers of trails there in the Wassy Center. And certainly, in summer they're used for citizens as well, but they could be used by the community as well. So that was discussed, and there's been people that have been expressing an interest. We had 3 people, in fact, that have expressed interest, one in particular as well for a walking program. And actually, the municipality's already gone ahead and put together a walking program at the community center. And they've done that in collaboration with Club Action 50 Plus. And I think it's been highly, well received, I would say, would be my impressions. And then we have 2 citizens that live nearby, Deputy Mayor Reactors, who've expressed an interest in setting up a volunteer organization for walking. So Deputy Mayor Yakers is going to work along with them to guide them. And so we're looking forward to their ideas coming back to the Parks, Recreation and Culture Committee in the fall. So then there was the discussion on participation. We thought maybe this should be the end of participation. You know, we've been promoting it a lot, but then someone said, you know, we received $1,000 even the last few years. And so maybe before we eliminate a program where we're able to receive funds, and we've been able to do pickleball clinics, that we should take a second look at that. But I also was reminded of the importance maybe of this program with the Olympics. You know, coming back on the Olympics and all the news channel, that's what they talked about in Canada, the importance of having community programs that encourage participation. So I think maybe there might be a renewal of interest in participation now that the Olympics were held and they were so successful. And Canada came out so brilliantly, you know, in terms of medals and participation. So anyway, the committee decided we should keep it and continue to follow up with it. And so I think that's about it. Any comments or questions? Okay. Striking, no, striking. Oh, yes, I forget about, I'm so sorry. Thank you very much.
The mover and a seconder, please. Sir Kelly. Sir Japan. Whereas at the regular council meeting of July 9th, council supported a request from Diane Armitage to donate a bench to the municipality. And whereas council referred this request to the Parks, Recreation and Culture Committee for finalization of the model and installation. And whereas the Parks, Recreation and Culture Committee recommends to council that a formal donation policy be created for clarity and uniformity, similar to that of the Memorial Park commemorative program. And further, that staff work with the committee to finalize and implement this program. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation.
On favor? Thank you so much. You said we had a second one. Yeah.
There was. Yes. Mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Rikers, Councillor Trahan. Whereas the Parks, Recreation and Culture Committee recommends to council that the Sports Hall of Fame program be revamped to consolidate the two current programs, Sports Hall of Fame and Recognition Awards, for unification and clarity, and that staff be directed to recreate this policy. Be it hereby resolved, the council approves of this recommendation.
Favor? Devon carry, thank you so much. Library board, any comments, Deputy Mayor Devon? OPP Detachment Board, I think we've seen our correspondence that they've renegotiated payroll at the OPP, so that it's in our correspondence. And we have had some developments. We are hearing back, and the Madam Clerk has reached out as well to, did you want to say a word?
Sure.
Yeah.
So with regards to the insurance, we did send off the information to get a quote to cover the board as a whole instead of just our specific for East Ferris's members. So that was maybe 2 weeks ago. So we're just waiting to hear back on that. And then hopefully we can schedule a meeting for September.
We also received support from the provincial, from the province in terms of being able to name our, because otherwise we'd be called, I think, committee number 2, Police Services Board number 2. We felt we should be called either responsing, Police Services Board, or something that characterizes the 3 communities that are working together. So we had to get approval for that as well. So we're getting.
Sorry, no, there is guidelines that they provided with naming, and you kind of have to have your reason for why you want that to be your name and cover the whole area. So yeah, that's on the agenda for the next meeting as well.
So that's our update. We now come to Castle Home, DSAB Health Unit and North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority. Any comments from anyone on any of these?
No, with Mattawa Conservation Authority, we have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay, c'est bon. Departmental reports, there are none. Notice of motion, Councillor Trahan. The floor is yours, Councillor Trahan.
So if I can get a mover and seconder, I'll put the motion on the floor. Moved by Councillor Trahan, seconded by Councillor Kelly. Excuse me. That moving forward, any committee organizing a committee event or function must inform the rest of council before the event takes place. This information should not only be shared on social media or through advertising, but should also include details such as the cost or whether the committee plans to donate funds to the event. And further, that following the event, council members or the mayor involved in the event should report back to back to council, either verbally or in writing on the financials under over budget, and whether it was a success and a benefit to the community or not to continue with this event or function and moving forward for next year.
Comments?
Sure, I wanted to wait, see if anybody had a comment besides, so I think it's a good, motion. I think, we're taking an example. We'll say the, upcoming event in September for the fire department. So we can take that for an example and see, start tracking events that we're doing and see if it's actually working or not, or what's, you know, what's is the public or the residents of East Ferris also getting that knowledge or information, or is it something that we should maybe start looking at revamping and make some changes to? So I think from then maybe from now to say the end of council term, just trying to see in what's working, what's not working, and what's the cost. And if it's something that it's not gonna be viable, then we should eliminate it. If it's something that we can maybe fix up and move on and put forward, and it's a good idea and it works for the greater good for the municipality, and the municipality can move forward on. I think this is where it's a reminder for all of us, and to be able to take a look and see what's working for the municipality. So that's why I brought this motion forward. Thanks.
Other comments, Lee, Councillor Kelly?
Yes, I think communication is the key among committee members and especially among council. There's only 5 council members, including the mayor, obviously, and senior staff. And this way, there's no surprises.
Right.
Because we get questions on a regular basis. I mean, and if we don't know what's going on, it's hard to get kind of blindsided, and then you're gonna go back. My mandate has always been, you can ask me any question. If I don't know the answer, I'll say I don't know, and I'll find out. There's some things we should know. So when we have committee meetings, that's why we have a report on a regular basis. If there's something going on behind the scenes, then at least share information among councilors so we know, and senior staff especially.
Yeah, and if there's the committee's doing something as a whole and they're spending residents' money, taxpayers' money, and if it's working, it's working. If it's not working, well, let's fix it, or if not, let's drop it.
Well, there's speaking for the chair of the planning board, there's always questions, and we have changed some attitudes, especially towards garages undersized lots and so forth, because the general consensus was that we want the toys under one roof on an engineered roof with an engineered building, rather than the plastic garages that look rather shabby after 2 or 3 years out in the ice and the wind. So that's an example, just sharing information. And if councilors have a problem, then they bring it up at the council meeting and say, they're not really sure of the direction whatever it's taking. Another ideal example is we restructured the Economic Development Committee.
Yep.
We didn't get rid of the Economic Development Committee, we just restructured it to include all of council. So there's a general direction. Now I understand we've got an intern that's another coming up, but we got a grant for an intern for 18 months, and that's important for economic development and for the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait.
I'm just not sure if it's not redundant. Don't we always do this under committee reports? Isn't that part of it? And isn't the money handled through the budget? So I'm just not sure, to be honest with you, why this is important. Because I think it's already handled in committee reports. And I
It's
think,
important.
why is it important?
Well,
Because I don't see
guess-
why it's important.
well, that's your comment.
Well, I would like to,
So Deputy Mayor Riakers, you're saying you feel that this is an existing practice, and you're asking whether a resolution is, or motion is necessary.
Right.
So basically she wants to understand why a motion is necessary.
Yeah, so
Dr.
as
Pham.
you stated, I'm not sure if you were listening, but again, when we do something as a whole, Deputy Mayor, certain things get relaxed, I'll say, for the better term of words, where a lot of other councillors are not aware of what's actually going on in certain committees. So we need to actually expose that and then sit there and make sure that every counselor is aware of what's going on in the municipality at any given time. Okay? Second of all, if there's any costings to it, yes, it comes out in a weekly report. It may come out in committee meetings. It may come out in discussions. But you know what? If we can actually put it down and actually verbalize it and say, this is what the costs were, and this was actually a good event, or if it was not a good attended event. And we've been doing it for years. And I know you haven't lived here for many years, but it's not personal. I'm just saying, she asked and I'm telling her. I'm just saying, we all know that Lauren hasn't lived here for very long. So there's a lot of ongoing events that occur in their municipality. So now we may be looking at changing it. We may be looking at rescoping it. Maybe the cost is too much. So that's the reason. So if you like it, fine. If you don't, that's your prerogative.
Oh, I mean, that's sure.
So I'd like to make that
Wait,
a point of order. Because I'm asking questions respectfully.
You are.
And then I get attacked personally. And I have had, so I get to speak.
Yes.
So saying that I wasn't listening, I was listening. That's why
That's why it's.
I have the floor now.
Well, go ahead and have it.
So there's another example of being rude. So I would like to be treated respectfully in this council.
Absolutely.
And so when I asked about two meetings ago about different things, oh, I am.
Yeah, but now we're going back meetings. Mayor, relax.
Deputy Mayor has the floor.
Now we're going back meetings. We're not talking,
I am.
talking about the motion.
But I'm talking about
Are we talking about the motion or are we talking about 2 meetings ago?
Please, no. Deputy Mayor has the floor. Okay, to continue, Deputy Mayor.
I've asked questions respectfully. I want them answered without contempt or without sarcasm or without being attacked personally. I am listening. I have been here for 4 years. I've been paying attention to council. So I would like to make a note that some councillors have not been treating me with respect. And I was voted onto this council equally like everyone else. So I'm still unclear because you are talking about verbal reports, but we have in each of our board committee reports, we can go through what the recreation department and going through I know that in Canada Day, it was overlooked, that it wasn't mentioned, and that was an oversight and it was a mistake. But the reports that we have cover that. The budget that we have covers this. So I'm not sure exactly why it's important. And that's my opinion. And I think it's equally valid as yours.
Okay, so yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So second of all, go back, say some bunch of reports. You want to talk about respect, and I would say that would have to be duly reciprocated. To move on, you can, about this, we know which way you're going to vote, which is fine. Let's go to a vote, so we're not sitting here arguing all night about it. Please and thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Nat. I actually do have some comments. I myself as well, if I may add them as well to, I'd like to say that I do think it's an excellent practice to go back and to evaluate. We do with the trade show and to your point, Councillor Nat, it doesn't matter whether it's $24,000 or $50. All dollars, taxpayer dollars are important and they need to be treated in the same fashion, in the same regard. So I mean, for you to point that out, I think I agree 100%. Personally, I really like the second paragraph where we say we would do that on every event. And we don't necessarily do it on every event. So to say that we should make put that into a motion to ensure that we have like a critical outlook of every event and say, is it beneficial for the community? Is it responding to what were our objectives that we set out? So I like that personally. I want to say that. I really do. in terms of the first paragraph, myself, I would amend, and I'm going to put forward an amendment for the first paragraph, if I may. But just before I do so, I'd like to come back exactly to what Deputy Mayor Riackers mentioned. I do feel that it's the words that said, that start the motion moving forward, because I do believe right now, it's not a perfect world. You know, we talk about communication. It's not a perfect world, but we do have a strategic plan. We do communicate. We do set a budget that's aligned to a strategic plan. We try our very best. We do issue mandate letters to our committees. We don't follow up with them maybe as much as we should, but we have staff that actually do follow up with our mandate letters to our committees. And so I do believe that, you know, we have good practices at a municipal level. There's things that fall through the crack, for sure. There will always be things that fall through the crack. But if we have the spirit of, you know, like, for example, if I forget something or we forget something, Terry, would you mind talking about that? Would you mind covering for it? For the risk, if we have it in a policy, like right now, I know, for example, this evening, our CEO is going to bring something forward that he was maybe just want to put to us in a weekly report. And I know, for example, when I talked about the, you know, the new walking program that was put forward, I thought, well, you know, we discussed that at our committee, the staff went forward and they initiated it, and it's now, you know, been publicized and everything else. It didn't come to council, but it's, you know, so it's another example. So I thought, oh my God, you know, there's going to be so many different examples of things maybe that we do that are in good intention, that are good, and then maybe, and that do align to what is the spirit of our strategic plan. That if the word must is there as well, that it could also be problematic. But we never know who will follow in our footsteps in the future. And that's where I personally always worry that when we put forward motions, that in the future could come back and haunt us. And, you know, and so I think words are important. And so for me, it would be, I like this policy. I have no problem. A motion, I call it. I guess it's a policy. It's after that, and is it it's a policy, right? It becomes or do you call it a directive or
We wouldn't develop a policy based on this, but an understanding.
It's an understanding. So I like that understanding. I have no issue with that. I think it's a good practice. And but I feel that the words in the first paragraph should reflect what I think is your spirit as well, Councillor Tan. I know what you're, you know, we all want the same thing. We all want to know exactly what's going on. We want to be able to communicate it. We want to be the, you know, the first cheerleaders for the municipality and not be caught. And I feel, you know, concerned. I was very disappointed that I was the one that was involved with something that did lead to that. You know, I feel badly for that, but it's an example of how it happens. It does happen. So personally, I would say, and we could maybe leave it to the staff to tweak the first paragraph if you would like and bring it back. It just needs a little bit of tweaking to fit what I think is the spirit of our community, what's been expressed by yourself, by Deputy Mayor, by Councillor Kelly and myself. I think if we did that, I think it would be great. And so that's what I would propose. We go ahead, Councillor
Yeah,
Kelly.
no, there's nothing wrong with that. The more eyes are on it, there is better off. Don't be scared of motions. So I like motions, and motions are for a purpose. And this fits the purpose of the motions. Don't be scared down the road, because what's nice about motions, Mayor, is that motions are supposed to be fluid. So sometimes you say this is good for today, and you know what? Down the road, it may not be so good. So that's why it gets fluid, and that's why things get changes.
Yes.
The changes good.
Correct. So
I have no problem going to staff and have staff,
just tweet it. We bring it back to our next meeting and tweet. You know, I'm not very good. I should have looked at this 2 weeks ago, but again, you know, it's not a perfect world. I didn't until basically earlier today. It's a holiday. Because, yeah, so if that's, without voting on it, we would simply leave it to our staff to come back and, maybe look at that first pair. So the intent, I think everyone understands the intent. We don't want things to go forward. Thank you. So on that note, we will leave it aside and we will proceed and we will have it back at our next meeting. We will move now to bylaws. And so I turn it over to you, Mr. Seal.
Thank you, Mayor Rochford. This bylaw is so as you're aware, our current chief billing official, Paul Gervais, retires at the end of this month. So this bylaw is to appoint Tech Breed as our chief billing official effective August 30th. Paul's last day is August 30th, and we don't have a meeting until September 10th, so we've got to bring it to this meeting here.
Mover and a seconder, please. Counselor Kelly, Counselor Trahan. Whereas council of the municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at the session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to appoint a chief building official be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2024-31, and that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Favor? C'est bon, carried. Oui.
Did we note that there is an open house to thank Paul?
I think it's a good time to maybe mention it, that you want to give us the details for the public to be invited?
Sure. So Thursday, August 29th, we're gonna have an open house here in the council chambers from 1 till 4 p.m. For any past municipal employees or council members and the general public that have worked with Paul. Give them an opportunity to come and congratulate Paul and wish him well on his retirement. 34 years of service for the municipality. So it'll be from 1 to 4 here. There'll be some light refreshments. And so hopefully we get a good crowd out to come and thank Paul for his years of service with East Ferris.
C'est bon. Oui. And it's very well done how you have put forward the invitation. It's nicely crafted, and yes, Madame Rose, always outstanding. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Riakers, for reminding us of that. So we move forward now with bylaw number B. 2432.
So this is just another bylaw to appoint you create as the municipal weed inspector. Mover and a seconder, please. Counselor Trahan, Counselor Kelly. Whereas council of the municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at the session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to appoint a municipal weed inspector be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2024-32. And that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? C'est bon. Thank you so much.
Just one thing to note with this bylaw and the next bylaw, what we did is we said that the chief building official will be the weed inspector, the chief building official will be the livestock valuer. This way, if Ted Preet was not here, we don't have to repeal those 2 bylaws in the future. We just appoint a chief building official. And then those bylaws are set.
2024-33.
Mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Riakers, Counselor Trahan. Whereas council of the municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at the session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to appoint a livestock valuer be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2024-33. And that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? C'est bon, carried. C'est bon. Correspondence, Deputy Mayor Riakers.
C looked interesting to me, Ontario Long Service Medals for paramedics as frontline workers. So I also D was talking to a business. It's on the corner of Lake Nelsponsi Road, and I just noticed this because I was driving along and I was phoning, and it dropped out several times between the cell service drops out between Lake Nelsponsi Road and Astorville Road, and it comes back on Highway 11. So there's a dead zone there. And there are businesses there, like Wassy Ski Trail is there. And if they ever needed service, they had somebody fall and break their arm, like happened a couple of years ago, and couldn't get an ambulance. I'm just kidding. I didn't need an ambulance. But anyways, so that was something that I thought was important, is that to approve cell tower installations and coverage. And then CN Rail Safety Week, I think that was approved last year. So something that should be, and then the Powassan Fair and what we wanted to do with that.
Okay, so let's go in order. I hadn't realized that you put the motions right in our, you.
Yeah, I pre-populated
Yes.
them.
Is that the first time you do that?
Yeah, normally I would just do them.
Yes.
And I'll put them in each scribe, but.
Oh, that's really well done. Yes, exactly. Moves us a step further. Yeah, well done. Okay, so to the fire and emergency, sorry, I just got the, it's C, there it is, but where did it go? Yeah, I'm on C, but, oh, it's on, because I'm in the, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I was under the fire committee. Okay, so there is a resolution there that we might just read, that the Council Municipality of East Ferris supports the resolution received regarding the creation of province-wide long service medal for police and for paramedics, modeled after the existing such awards for fires. In the existing medals that do they have those they do not?
So out of the,
categories?
yeah, so I was gonna make a comment on that. For the support to endorse that letter, the 911 or emergency triangle, you want to say. We all have certain awards on each police, fire and paramedics. The paramedics are missing a few provincial awards. So that's where this is really stemming from. So they have one of the ones I believe that are missing is long-term service. So which is notified by the provincial government. So which you get recognized of your MPP as well as your MP for nice certificates and it starts off at your 20-year mark.
So basically, we would, this would be great in that sense. If
So it's just,
Yeah,
they're gonna bring along the paramedics.
yeah, it's a good thing. All right, so then you.
Sure, I'll get a mover and seconder and then I'll reread the resolution. Moved by Deputy Mayor Rikers, second by Councilor Kelly. Council Municipality of East Ferris supports the resolution received with Bradford West Wellenbury regarding the creation of a province-wide long service medal for police and for paramedics. Modeled after the existing such awards for firefighters, and that this resolution be sent to the Premier, Minister of Health, Solicitor General, Minister of Citizenship, and local MPP.
On favor? Okay, thank you so much for that, Deputy Mayor. And so the next one is for cell service, so that there be no dead zones. Did you want to maybe just table that resolution?
Sure. Excuse me. Mover and seconder, moved by Deputy Mayor Riker, seconded by Councilor Trahan. The council, the municipality of East Ferris supports the resolution received from the town of Plimpton, Wyoming regarding requesting the federal government and ISED to make it their priority to push forward with their commitment to provide crucial infrastructure in a meaningful and timely manner and provide action and enforcement of the regulations that mandate timely installations of approved cell tower installations. And that this resolution be sent to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Export Promotion, International Trade and Economic Development, Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, Government of Canada, local MP and local MPP.
Any comments before we vote on this?
I'll just add on there, and it's been for a long time. So that dead zone, just so it's a little more clarity on that. That dead zone starts at just before the Trans-Canada pumping station. So that's where, if you're going westbound and turning right to go to North Bay, it's basically from that turn off right there to basically where the old, where the tracks are going east to Osterville. That area has been a dead zone. We've known that on the fire service for many years, so.
So we're in support, we don't need to amend or to the. Do we need to amend it or it's good like that? Yeah, okay, all right, so all in favor? C'est bon, carry, thank you so much, and thank you for that. Personally, I must say, I didn't know that was a good song. So I appreciate learning that. Wasn't aware of that. I wasn't, so. Yes,
If I may, we have one time there was a ambulance called into South Shore Road and ended up in Bonfield. Because they couldn't communicate with their dispatch. They couldn't communicate with our fire department. And that could be life and death.
Yes, that's,
So there's a health risk is immense in a rural community.
thank you for that. CN, yes, we have always supported the CN week, and so yeah, do proceed, Madam Clerk.
Mover and seconder, please. And Kelly. Whereas employers across northern Ontario are experiencing a critical shortage of skilled workers, contributing to a shrinking.
CN,
Yeah, it's
oh, is that how it starts? Mine doesn't start. Okay, go ahead, continue. Pardon me, I apologize. Is that the same one? In CN real safety? I see, that looks like skills,
Order.
but on our computer, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Whereas Rail Safety Week is to be held across Canada from September 23rd to 29th, 2024. And whereas 229 railway crossings and trespassing incidents occurred in Canada in 2023, resulting in 66 avoidable fatalities and 39 avoidable serious injuries. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railway rights of way are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways and obeying established traffic laws, will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. And whereas Operation Lifesaver is a public-private partnership whose aim is to work with public, rail industry, governments, police services, media, and others to raise rail safety awareness. And whereas CN and Operation Lifesaver have requested the municipality of East Ferris to adopt this resolution in support of its ongoing efforts to raise awareness, save lives, and prevent injuries in communities, including our municipality. Be it hereby resolved that Council, the municipality of East Ferris supports National Rail Safety Week to be held from September 23rd through 29th, 2024.
Favor? C'est bon, Carrie, thank you so much. And
If I may, Mayor Rochford, in e-scribe, it says 2023, September 23rd.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I'll send that.
And then town of Boston, the Boston Agricultural Society is inviting the municipality to participate in the opening ceremonies. Myself personally, I'm unavailable that day. So if any member of council would like to be our representative, you would be welcome to do so. And we would confirm your participation and your presence.
Yes, I can email.
So you don't have to say yes right now, but if you'd like to, please advise Madam Clerk and she will advise the organizers. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Reactors, Councillor Kelly.
I've got both for Phenom,
Oh, wait.
sustainable worth and request for support. And, you know, this is quite frankly, could be a federal matter, not just Ontario's matter with immigration. At one time, if you immigrated to Canada, you were told where you were going. There was a need for farmers' help and so forth in Western Canada. They were allocated there for a year or two, and then they were allowed to go anywhere in Canada they wished to go. They were designated where they went. Right now, it's been wide open for years. Complete freedom, and they end up migrating to major cities, usually in the southern parts of the country, quite frankly. So, but there's a major shortage of skilled labor, and for various reasons. One is, and we won't get into it right now, but they've really handcuffed small businesses with one journeyman, one apprentice, where it used to be one journeyman electrician could handle 2 or 3 apprentices. They all graduate, and you got 4, now you've got only 2. So we've limited the amount of training. That's not ours, but the amount of people that can be trained by one senior individual. So that's another matter. But I think both of these are worthwhile. Just letting you know, as far as Phenom goes, and it's coming up at the next meeting with Phenom, which will be at AMO, is they're keeping a very close eye on what's going on in Western Canada with the opioid crisis, and making sure there's medical support to when people are taken off the streets and given treatment. It's not a penal facility, it's a health facility. And with medical backup, not just a shot and go on your way, which is what's happening now, because we're at war. This is a drug war no one's ever seen before in the country. And no one really has the answer so far. Right now it's experimental, but apparently it's working from what I understand. So I'll keep council updated.
And so basically that was the first motion that you were reading, the request for support for
Yes, please.
area immigration nominee program.
Yeah, this is a course for economic development.
Yes.
Which probably I think our new intern,
Yes.
after they meet with Economic Development Committee, which is council of the whole and senior staff, we'd probably be looking at that as far as one of the attributes should be presented.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
we'll table it, and then any comments, okay? So please read it, it's all before us, so it's good to read along. That's a really good practice, thank you very much, yeah.
Mover and a seconder, please.
Sure.
Councillor Kelly, Deputy Writers. Whereas employers across Northern Ontario are experiencing a critical shortage of skilled workers, contributing to a shrinking labor market with an estimated 50,000 newcomers needed by 2041 to sustain current Northern Ontario population levels. And whereas the labor shortage is causing significant economic hardship for Northern Ontario communities, including reduced productivity and business closures. And whereas population and migration trends to 2021 suggest that Northern Ontario needs 100,000 new newcomers by 2041 to sustain current population. And whereas the success of the federal, rural, and northern immigration pilot demonstrates the effectiveness of allocating nomination spots to address regional labor shortages and attracting newcomers to Northern Ontario. And whereas the Ontario Immigration Nominee Program has been expanded from 9,750 nominees in 2022 to a goal of 21,500 nominees in 2024. Be hereby resolved that Council for the Municipality of East Ferris urges the Government of Ontario to address the critical market shortage of skilled labor in Northern Ontario by allocating 3,000 Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program spots to support the region's economic growth and development. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to the Ontario Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, local members of Provincial Parliament, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, and the North Bay and District Chamber of Commerce.
Comments? Wait, Councillor Trahan.
Thanks. I just gotta get this off my chest because it burns me sometimes. To go back to you when you said it was a provincial or federal probably answer to solve some of this problems. I agree with you 100%. Where I get a little perplexed and upset is that we used to have a Northern Ontario college for trades. And again, we lost that many years ago. And I still say from that, that was one of the worst things they ever did for people moving after high school. We look at now, and I see they're trying, but it's still not good enough. And bear with me here for a second. We have Canada College and they have electrical program. We get the woodworking program. And it's not serving the purpose. I've talked to kids out here, even out here. Like to talk to them and find out where they're going. Because I think it's very important we know where our kids are going from the municipality. And they're all leaving. Why? Because they can't get into the Canada College because there's only limited spaces. Now they sit there, they got 50,000 newcomers and we're missing so many northern trades. If the government would put some better money into North Bay to have that trade school here and open it up where it should be, 30, 40, 50 kids that can get in there and we can start rolling those kids over and getting them out into the workforce with the proper trades. I think that's the way to go about it. I think the way that they're saying this is just a smudge. This is ignorant. So it's on both sides of the parties. So I'll leave it like that, but I just want to throw that out there and say, you know what, we're missing a boat here on a beautiful college that we can sustain trades kids and get them filtering through the north. Most of these people that migrate to Northern Ontario, we know, Terry, and we've talked about it. They go up north and where do they go? Back down towards Toronto, because that's where the gravity pulls from. Guess where their families are. That's where their sponsors are. So anyway, that's my little tidbit on that.
I noticed yesterday the government.
If I was king, I would fix it.
The provincial government was announced in Thunder Bay, was it $17 million for some training? I didn't know, I didn't look at the background, but I was, wow, good to see that, but, yeah,
In furtherance to what you're saying, Councillor Trahan, the Northern School of Medicine is proof of what you say. And that's why council from the day one contributed to it, simply because people were not, doctors were so hard to get, they still are in Northern Ontario, quite frankly. But at least now we're introduced to Northern lifestyle, in order to stay after being introduced to it. Because it's an enviable lifestyle compared to living in any of the major cities in Southern Ontario. If you live in the country, it's not for everybody, as we know. A lot of doctors have never been exposed to it, and it's a great place to raise a family. It's a lot safer, quite frankly, there's fresh air, so forth. There's all kinds of attributes. The country living isn't for everyone, but it's actually this Northern School of Medicine. And to close the school, and we've had the success in Northern Ontario with the School of Medicine, makes no sense. No, anyway, thank you.
any further comments? Okay, so we will vote, all in favor of this resolution. Okay, Gary, thank you so much. Was there any?
That's it, thank you.
Okay,
Sounds good.
yeah, you're good. Oh, wait.
I think we should, due to Councillor Kelly's comment, I forgot. I had to sit down here.
Association stuff.
So joint health
Oh, wait.
resolution campaign, AMO.
For sure, yeah, that's, yeah, yes, exactly, that's a very, thank you for pointing that out, yes. Okay, you proceed.
Get a mover and seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Rikers, Councillor Tran. Whereas the state of healthcare in Ontario is in crisis with 2.3 million Ontarians lacking access to a family doctor, emergency room closures across the province, patients being derostered, and 40% of family doctors considering retirement over the next 5 years. And whereas it has become increasingly challenging to attract and retain an adequate healthcare workforce throughout the health sector across Ontario. And whereas the Northern Ontario School of Medicine University says communities in Northern Ontario are short more than 350 physicians, including more than 200 family doctors, and half of the physicians working in Northern Ontario expected to retire in the next 5 years. And whereas Ontario municipal governments play an integral role in the healthcare system through responsibilities in public health, long-term care, paramedicine, and other investments. And whereas the percentage of family physicians practicing comprehensive family medicine has declined from 77 in 2008 to 65% into 2022. And whereas per capita healthcare spending in Ontario is the lowest of all provinces in Canada, and whereas a robust workforce development through a provincial sector-wide health human resources strategy would significantly improve access to health services across the province. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of East Ferris urge the province of Ontario to recognize the physician shortage in Ontario, to fund healthcare appropriately, and ensure every Ontarian has access to physician care.
I guess when we say the physician shortage in East Ferris, I mean, we're very fortunate to now have a third physician in East Ferris, right? But at the same time, I was surprised recently to learn of people that said, we don't have a doctor, and they weren't aware of the process to apply so I mean, is that correct to say that for us, or should we omit that?
Somebody told me, and I haven't checked this out, there was still a waiting list.
Yes.
And or East Ferris for people in East Ferris.
All right,
At the,
okay, all in favor? C'est bon? Yeah, great, thank you. Both hands. Okay, outstanding. Then we move on. Thank you so much. We approve of the correspondence.
Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Trahan, Councillor Kelly. Our council approved the correspondence and information as circulated with the agenda of August 13th, 2024.
All in favor? C'est bon, carry. Thank you so much. We have a request for resolution for noise bylaw exemption.
I get a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Trahan, Deputy Mayor Rikers. Whereas Joanne Rogers has made a request to the municipality for an exemption under section 4 of municipal bylaw 2015-33, a bylaw to prohibit excessive noise. And whereas with Joanne's request, the exemption would only apply from Friday, September 6, 2024 at 11 p.m. through Sunday, September 8th, 2024 at 2 a.m. for the purpose of a backyard family reunion to be held at 747 Durland Road. Being hereby resolved that council of the municipality of East Ferris approve the request received from Joanne Rogers and grant an exemption of municipal bylaw number 2015-33 for Friday, September 6th, 2024 at 11 p.m. through Sunday, September 8th, 2024 at 2 a.m.
In favor? Well, any comments I should have asked before? Any comments? No, okay, yes, Councillor Janet?
Question to the CEO and just a quick question. Because we don't get the feedback on it, and then this is not the first time we've had exemptions for northbound. Have we had any complaints before with regards to this process here, where people are applying? So it's working.
Yeah, the only thing council's done in the past when approving these is requesting that the requester notify their neighbors that they are having an event and that they've received a noise exemption.
Yeah,
So,
I just wanted to put out there, it seems like this is actually working, right? So we're voting on something that
Yes.
I don't know, you know, I know we had one recently on Deerland Road, I believe, so.
Yeah.
Lisa, we know we're not getting any bad feedback, so this is working, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's important to encourage communication with neighbors, you know, resolve problems. Yes, please.
It's also for a couple of days.
Yes.
11 o'clock Friday night.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is usually it's a one night affair, this is a weekend.
It's a family reunion.
Yes, it's a family reunion, so
It's not like a wedding where it's one night, so it's a family reunion. So again, we should see how it works. Yeah, so,
But we usually,
yeah.
we hope for
Like
comment.
a one night, not two nights.
For they're tired the second night, you know. No guarantees.
Okay, c'est bon, we voted, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Item,
We haven't voted.
oh, we haven't voted. Okay, all in favor? C'est bon, thank you so much. Resolution for flag raising request. Did you want approval, maybe the motion, and then I'll invite our CEO, maybe just say a word with respect. Yeah, go ahead.
Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kelly, Deputy Mayor Rodriguez. Whereas a flag raising request form was submitted by Ashley Patey and received by the clerk on August 7th, 2024. And whereas the request was for the municipality to raise the Every Child Matters flag on September 30th, 2024, be it hereby resolved the council approve this request.
Okay, so just before we open it up to comments, I did want to just point out to our policy, so I've asked our CEO just to say whether or not this fits our policy before we discuss it.
yeah, so thanks, Mayor Roxburgh. And looking at the request, part 3, which is the scope of our policy, indicates that the policy applies to requests which meet at least one of the following criteria. So we've got 3.1.1, which is the requesting bodies and other sovereign nation, registered charity or not-for-profit organization. So it doesn't fit that criteria. The request can demonstrate that the cause is of benefit to and or supports the residents of the municipality and or relates to an important event taking place in the municipality. I mean, there could be an argument made there that it benefits certain residents, I guess, in the community. But I believe it more closely matches 3.1.3, which is the proclamation promotes the initiatives or interests of the municipal, provincial, and federal levels of government.
Okay. Any further comments? Okay, and it's for one day. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if we shouldn't put this in abeyance simply because we have right now municipalities dealing with the legal matter concerning the flag policy. And I think if we had to go into details, we'd go into camera. But so I'm quite frankly, I think we should put this as abeyance on hold until we get some clarification on the legal status of the legal case that's in front of us.
Okay, thank you for
That's
that.
my
Ron.
thoughts.
Okay, are we getting there?
And
Councillor Shannon?
I also add on that, because we also have a motion, and that motion is sitting in abeyance also. So we got two things that we gotta look at to kind of make sure that we're gonna make a right decision here.
And so we have a motion that's in abeyance. Is that how we?
And we have, we're, as far as last time we were updated, that we're waiting on, acceptance. We're sitting at the doors of the tribunal, so, of human rights.
Yes.
So I would sit there and put a little bit of a stronghold in this position until we get more clarity of what's going on.
Thank you for that. Any further comments?
I think it should be voted on tonight. I think that this is a national day of remembrance. And it is something that is celebrated across the whole country, and that, you know, other people are raising the flag. So I think it is completely separate from what is happening for the other issue. So I think it should be voted on today.
Let me just ask our CEO, did you see a risk in us? Let's say we were to pass this evening, would there be? You don't, I don't want to do that. That's not really my question. But based on the comments that were said, you mentioned, and do you have any further comments to add?
I wouldn't say, Mayor Rushford, I wouldn't say it further puts us at risk with what our first issue is. But with the discussion that was held at a prior meeting regarding an amendment to the policy of not accepting any future requests, that because that's sitting on kind of the back burner.
Abeyance, is that?
I'm not sure.
Legal status of
Legal
that.
terms of, yeah.
It's a, eh? So I want to understand what would be the legal status of that motion. Right now, it's just,
So the first- So the first motion, I believe it was tabled, correct, Carrie?
Sorry,
Yes,
motion.
sorry.
The one about amending the flag policy, I believe, there was a motion put forward, but it was deferred to a future meeting.
I have to check.
Yeah,
we,
One further comment, if I may. This is gonna be flown, if it's gonna be flown on September 30th. Why don't we get a legal opinion from our lawyer? Whether that puts us in a position, a vulnerable position in legal terms.
yes, okay.
Because we've got time, we've got
We've got time.
two
Yes, we can
meetings,
come back.
we've got
Yes.
2 meetings before that.
Okay.
Okay?
Would that be all right with everyone? We'll do that just to make sure with respect to the motion that's in. Okay, so on that note, thank you very much for all of that. We move forward then with approval of accounts payable.
Mover and a seconder, please. Sorry.
Everybody wants to get paid.
Okay, second. Councillor Trahan, that council approved the general accounts for the municipality of East Ferris as indicated in the check register dated August 13th, 2024, in the amount of $1,524,217.18.
All in favor? They are supported. Okay, no other business and we're going to be going in, okay, is it on, is it not on the agenda? Did you call it in? I'm unaware, because you know now with our new policy, we're supposed to remind us of what the policy
Sorry
is.
about that. I should have called in.
Yes, exactly, ma'am.
I was on town.
Add it to the agenda at a closing date.
I promise I would try and support
Okay,
it.
no,
There's
that's
also
fine.
council announcements and updates from council members, which we recently amended.
I was waiting for the business, so if I could go back, but if I can, I'll do it next meeting.
If council has unanimous consent, we're allowed to add that to the agenda for
Okay.
your other item.
I think we're better to try to stick to our
That's fine.
policy.
We can come back. We'll come back to it next council meeting.
All right, don't forget. Okay?
Not a problem.
So now we have it, so you can make sure you follow up.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so in camera now, though, that we do have, and have you, has it been amended for the, in
No.
camera? No, okay.
if we can amend to include section 239 to be identifiable individual of a local border municipality.
So we have two land discussions.
Yeah.
And we have now a third item, which is an identifiable individual.
Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Trahan, Deputy Mayor Roy Akers. This meeting proceeds in camera session at 6:07 PM under section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 in order to address matter pertaining to a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board regarding the potential donation of land for housing development, and C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board regarding the potential purchase of land for municipal use, and subsection B, identifiable individual.
All in favor of that? You don't? Right, okay. Okay, so, quick minute, we go into.
Can we use our room that we had before?
Perfect, okay. So we can leave the things on.
Yes.
And so, the public session, okay. This is how our facilities were planned, so now we're putting them to use.
It's ending.
So we resume with our council meeting. Thank you very much to the members of public who might have been online and have waited for council to resume its formal public portion of the meeting. We now move forward with our confirmatory bylaw.
We have to come out of camera
Come out of
first.
camera, yes.
Mover and a seconder, please. And Deputy Mayor Rikers. We do now adjourn this in-camera meeting at 6:45 PM and return to our regular session.
All in favor? C'est bon, carried. Confirmatory bylaw.
Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kelly, Deputy Mayor Rikers. Whereas council for the municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session. Be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council from July 9th to August 13th, 2024, be read a first, second, and third time, passed to number 2024-34, and that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? C'est bon, carried. Thank you so much. And adjournment.
Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Trahan, Deputy Mayor Rikers, that we do now adjourn at 6:46 PM and meet again on September 10th, 2024.
All in favor? C'est bon, carried. Okay, have a good rest of the